Well, I have a lot of friends who are minimalists, and it's wonderful to bring them over and show them this home in the same way that it's wonderful for me to go to theirs. I think there's room in this world for a lot of different aesthetic styles, and I appreciate any home that knows what it is and commits to its aesthetic. I'm Jared Frank, I'm an interior designer, and this is my home in Silver Lake, Los Angeles. So I've lived here for 15 years now, and in the last 3 years, I've gotten to live here with my wife, which is such a better way to live. 15 years ago, I was new to Los Angeles and I was looking for a place to live. And when I came upon this apartment, I just saw the frescoes everywhere. I couldn't believe them. I found out it was Lance Gaylord Klemm's apartment and his work, and I signed the lease that day. Lance Gaylord Klemm was an amazing fresco artist. His trompe style, his ability to take ideas from different eras and different themes, run them through a house is exemplary. So living in a house completely full of murals is a sort of blessing and a curse, because everything you do has to be in dialogue with them. And to me, this is a wonderful challenge. Anything I put on the wall has to relate to the pre-existing mural. So in this living room, you see a chandelier. It's a tiki style, and it's made out of shells. And that's inspired by the fact that there's shells in Lance's work in the fireplace. So I love finding these conversations between objects. And that really is my philosophy of my work in this house. So the vestibule is the only room in the house that doesn't get any natural light. And I think that's one reason why Lance decided to paint it dark and moody. And I continued with that. I think one thing that people do a lot is when they find a room in their house that's dark, they paint it all white. And I think actually making a dark space darker, enjoying the sort of power of those shadows, working with reflection, is a great way to work with a space that doesn't get natural light. So my bedroom is much more muted, much more mellow than the rest of the apartment, and that's not by accident. There's two things going on. One is that Lance Klemm used that as his paint studio, so it was already painted white. There was none of his work in there, so I wasn't inheriting his, riotous, fun, ribald murals. I had an actual room that was white or beige to work with. And the second reason that I kept the bedroom muted is that it's a bedroom. It's a place of rest, relaxation, intimacy, and I think you do want to have that sense of rest and calm in your bedroom. This apartment reminds you that there's wonder in the world. It reminds you that there's beauty everywhere. It reminds you to keep looking. So living in this apartment is an aesthetic experience, and it changes the way you behave, the way you live, and certainly the way you entertain. I think this apartment makes things romantic. It adds romance, it adds mystery to the lives we live. And it also reminds you that you don't just live in the surface, the now of here, but you actually live in this space that's layered, this space that has history. So I love that about living here. If these walls could speak, they would not stop talking. They would have endless stories, from myth to reality. The only thing I can tell you for sure about what these walls would say is they would talk about my time here. They would talk about the love I have with my wife here. They would talk about me kind of becoming an adult here and finding myself and also finding my career. So they would tell the story of my life. My life's just one of so many lives that have lived here, lives before Lance Klemm as well. So I wish I knew, but I'm definitely listening. So if they have anything to say, I'm all ears.